This is Our Voice 360 podcast, our perspectives, our way. Hey, I'm your host, Chad Bumgarner, and Our Voice 360 is a podcast from our perspective, providing inspiration, business and leadership tips, Black history knowledge, sports, current news events, and self-help insight, along with other information to keep you in the know while you're on the go. Today, we'll kick off the show with a little motivation and inspiration from none other than Mike Brown. Right after that, we'll get some great business and leadership tips and insight from the leadership coach himself, me, Chad Bumgarner. Then we'll switch gears a bit and get educated on who we are when Mike Brown comes back to us with some Black history pearls of knowledge of self. Next up, we'll get our sports commentary and updates with our sports guru, Pete Hunt. Following Pete will be the brilliant and talented news reporter, Fentress Chestnut Fountain, with our current news events information. And rounding out the show will be our main man, Ivan Hunt, with his very own segment, Keep It Moving, showing us how to overcome any obstacles we face in order to gain success in life. Okay, are you ready?
Let's go! Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Our Voice 360. It's your man, Mike Brown. Got a question. When you're traveling and you don't know where you're going exactly, we all use our GPS. Whether it's on our phone, whether it's an external device in your car, whether it's an internal device in your car, doesn't matter. The GPS will always lead you to whatever destination you place into it. But the question is, where is your life's GPS pointing you towards? If you keep in the same direction that your life is going right now, what will your destination be? I want everybody to think about that this upcoming week. And really sit down and think about, if you keep going on the path that you're on right now, where would you end up? You can always change your destination, people. It's never too late. You can always reprogram the GPS. All right? Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for joining us another podcast segment, Our Voice 360. It's your man, Mike Brown, and I'm out. Peace. Whether you go from state to state, coast to coast, there is no job too big, no project too small for Elect Graphics and Photography. If it's important to you, then it's important to us. Allow Elect Graphics and Photography to take care of all your graphic design, audio, and video needs. You can reach us at 828-855-3057. Thank you.
Hi, this is Chad Bumgarner with another edition of A Leadership Minute. One sign that you can look at to ensure if someone has true leadership skills is love. An unlikely icon from the past, legendary Green Bay Packers head coach Vince Lombardi did not mince his words in defining how he led with love. He said the following: "I don't necessarily have to like my players and associates, but as their leader, I must love them. Love is loyalty. Love is teamwork. Love respects the dignity of the individual. This is the strength of any organization." End quote. This concept of love in the leadership at work sense is not a feeling. It's expressed as an action verb. In the end, the best of leaders demonstrate love by being open to input from others, even those below them in the org chart. They seek to understand others to quickly solve problems with an agreed solution, and they value their workers as employees and human beings. Hi, are you tired of high turnover rates, constant confusion on the team, or maybe even low or mediocre productivity from your team? Well, the CDB Consulting Group has the experience and the business acumen to correct those issues and take you and your team to the next level. So contact us today. Go to www.chadbumgarner.co or call us at 678-571-2773. And remember, great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Our Voice 360. It's your man, Michael Brown. Today, we'll be learning on Ruth Simmons. Ruth Simmons has achieved a series of historic firsts At a point in life where most are retired or soon will be, the longtime educator and academic is still going. Simmons is currently the 8th president of Prairie View A&M University, coming out of retirement to become the first woman to lead the institution. Simmons was born July 3rd, 1945 in Grapeland, Texas, as the youngest of 12 siblings. Her parents were sharecroppers who relocated to Houston. She entered and graduated from Dillard University in 1967, then earned a master's and PhD in romantic literature from Harvard University in 1970 and 1973, respectively. A series of academic positions with schools such as the University of New Orleans, California State University Northside, University of Southern California, and Princeton University followed. She also served as provost of Spelman College. In 1995, Simmons marked her first big achievement by becoming president of Smith College, making her the first black woman to lead a major college or university. She then joined Brown University in 2001, becoming the first black president of an Ivy League institution and brought sweeping changes to the school. At the urging of her brother Clarence, a former student and athlete at Prairie View, Simmons took on the interim presidential position with the school and decided to stay. Part of her reasoning is that many Prairie View students are poor and lack proper guidance and an example such as herself. Further, the school has issues graduating students due to the financial woes of the student body, which Simmons hopes to address and correct. Once again, people, know yourself, know your worth. Thank you for listening. OurVoice 360. It's your man, Mike Brown. I'm out.
You're listening to the OurVoice 360 podcast, our perspectives from our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go.
What's good, family, and welcome to the Sports Chronicles. I'm your host, Pete Hunt. The NBA is back, baby, and I couldn't be more excited. On this podcast, I'm going to break down my top 3 teams of each conference. So let's get started with the Eastern Conference. With the departure of LeBron James to the LA Lakers, the East is as wide open as it's been in 10 years. My number 3 team is the Philadelphia 76ers. Philly is a very good basketball team. They have 2 great building blocks in Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. They also have good shooters in Dario Saric, Robert Covington, and J.J. Redick. My only concern, and this is why I have them at number 3, is because of their defense. I'm not really sure if this team can defend at a high level on a nightly basis. But if they can, Philly has a good chance to come out of the East. My number 2 team in the East is the Toronto Raptors because of one name, Kawhi. I really love the trade for Kawhi Leonard for the Toronto Raptors. Not only do you add the best two-way player in the NBA, but also a player with a championship pedigree. He and the addition of Danny Green gives Toronto 2 players who know how to win on the big stage. This team has all the ingredients to be the Eastern Conference representative in the finals. They have good guards in Kyle Lowry, Danny Green, and Fred VanVleet, and very good post players in Serge Ibaka, Greg Monroe, and Giannis Valanciunas. And defensively, they are going to be really, really good. The only thing that I can say that can stop Toronto is my number 1 team, and that's the Boston Celtics. The Celtics on paper are by far the best team in the East. They are loaded at every position, starting with Kyrie Irving. He will be the straw that stirs the drink for this ball club. Then add Gordon Hayward to that backcourt, and you have a top 5 backcourt in the league. And at the small forward and power forward positions, you have 2 young, hungry stars in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Boston would have one of the best benches in the league also, with Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart, and Marcus Morris. They will be great on both ends of the court. Barring injury, Boston will represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. The Western Conference is absolutely loaded. This is why the number 3 team was so hard to choose, but I'm going to go with the Utah Jazz. I could have easily gone with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The reason I like Utah a little bit better than OKC is their complementary players. Utah has a bona fide star in Donovan Mitchell, but for me, what stands out are their complementary players that they have around Donovan. It starts with Rudy Gobert. He is the defensive anchor of this team and the best rim protector in the NBA. They also have an underrated veteran in Derek Favors that can fill it up on the offensive end to complement Donovan Mitchell. This team is poised for a breakout year. The number 2 team is the Houston Rockets. Houston was a game away from the finals last year. We already know about the backcourt of Chris Paul and James Harden, but they have now added Carmelo Anthony to an already potent offense. The question with Houston is their defense. With the losses of Trevor Ariza and Luke Mbah-a-Moute, this team will not be a top 3 defense like it was last year. But they will be back in the Western Conference Final to play the number 1 team on my list, and that's the Golden State Warriors. Golden State is not only the number 1 team in the West, but the entire NBA. This team is loaded with their 4 All-Stars, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green. But they had the nerve to add another All-Star and DeMarcus Boogie Cousins. This is almost unfair to the rest of the league. But barring any major injuries, Golden State will represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals and defeat the Boston Celtics in 6 games to complete the three-peat. Thank you for listening to the Sports Chronicles exclusively on OurVoice 360.
The FPC channel, hosted by yours truly, Fentress Chestnut Fountain, can be seen on any streaming device on your televisions. You can even watch from your phones on any social media platform. News, weather, and entertainment featuring some of today's biggest celebrity interviews. You don't want to miss out? You could also have your own TV show produced by Fentress Productions and Communications LLC to expand your brand or business and get your content seen. Call 828-261-6122 or visit thefpcchannel.com for more information. You're listening to Our Voice 360, our perspectives, our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. I'm Fentress, and I'm back in town. And y'all, let me just tell you, I really enjoyed my trip to Africa. I visited Nairobi, Kenya, and also Mombasa, Kenya, and it was beautiful. And I really have to let you guys know about it in my documentary that'll be coming out on the FPC channel in just a few weeks, so stay tuned for that. Let's jump right in with the We Do It Big segment highlighting Black excellence worldwide, starting off with a story right in Africa, Accra, Ghana. The year-long Marketing and Reunification Initiative marking 400-year anniversary of first enslaved Africans' arrival in the U.S. in 1619. Following a successful launch of the inaugural Back to Africa Festival in February of this year and the Ghana Tourism U.S. East Coast visit in March of this year, with the Adinkra Group to promote Ghana as a prime tourism destination, the Ghana Tourism Authority continues to bolster their efforts to promote Ghana as a prime tourist, business, and investment destination for African Americans. Late August 2018, GTA partnered with the Adinkra Group and Sunseekers Tours to host a team of writers and photographers from the iconic Ebony magazine in Ghana, documenting the lifestyle, culture, and tourism, which will prominently be featured in Ebony's Power 100 issue in print and online later this year. The editorial will serve as an introduction to what people can look forward to in 2019, the year of return. Ghana 2019 is an initiative aimed to celebrate the resilience of African people and market Ghana as both a high-profile tourism and business destination in an effort to build stronger bonds between Ghana and African people in the diaspora. And that is awesome. And let me just tell y'all, if you have never been to Africa, you need to make it a point. If you get the opportunity to definitely go, doesn't matter what part, just go to the motherlands. It's an experience like never before. Amazon and HBCU are connecting to host a hiring event targeting African American tech professionals in the San Francisco Bay Area. HBCU Connect, in partnership with Amazon's consumer division, will offer an opportunity for African American tech professionals in the Bay Area to network for a chance to learn about available career opportunities. Now, this amazing opportunity could potentially lead to interviews for those who attend the event. Amazon, as a company, was recently ranked #1 on the 2018 LinkedIn Top Companies list, so that is an awesome opportunity. A Black entrepreneur has invented a water aerobic hair cover that maintains your hairstyle while in the water. Y'all know this was an interesting story to me. My hair is very important, so I really keyed in on this. Now, Linda Brown is her name. She is the inventor of the water aerobic hair cover. She's a proud senior citizen with an inventive mind, and she's invented a unique water aerobic hair cover that solves the problem that so many of us have. Now, the hair cover maintains the hairstyle and keeps the hair completely dry when in the water. The wearer's hairstyle is preserved and does not require extensive maintenance following use. Her water aerobic hair cover opens the door for a healthier lifestyle for many females, especially those who avoid doing water aerobics, fitness, exercising, or water sports and activities because of their hair. You can go to wateraerobichaircover.com for more information on that. $100,000 scholarships are available from Beyonce's Be Good Foundation and Jay-Z's Sean Carter Foundation. While on their On the Run Tour 2, Beyonce and Jay-Z, through Be Good and Sean Carter Foundation, announced a new scholarship program to award exceptional senior high school students with financial needs. Each recipient will receive a scholarship of $100,000 to put toward their college enrollment, and the award will serve as a dedicated university-based fund for each selected student throughout the duration of their enrollment. For more information, you can go to SeanCartersF.com or Beyonce.com/BeGood. Now on to our Black History segment, highlighting Black history, what went on this past week, starting off with October 1st, 1962. James Meredith made history when he became the first Black student to register at the University of Mississippi. He applied to the institution after spending 9 years in the Air Force and 2 at Jackson State University. Meredith was twice denied admission because of his race, but he fought the discriminatory decision all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, which ruled in his favor. On October 2nd, Hazel Scott, the renowned jazz pianist, died. In a musical world dominated by men, Hazel Scott was a pioneer. She was a woman who had a successful career as a jazz pianist and a singer. She was also the first woman of color to host her own TV show, The Hazel Scott Show. She performed as herself in several motion pictures in the 30s and 40s. The first Black-owned radio station, Word, opened in Atlanta on October 3rd, 1949. These days, Black radio programming is everywhere, but it wasn't always that way. After nearly 20 years of attempts by African-American entrepreneurs to purchase the station, Jesse B. Blayton Sr. opened the first Black-owned radio station, Word, on October 3rd. It wasn't Blayton's first time making history. In 1928, he became Georgia's first African-American certified public accountant. On October 4th, 1937, Lee Patrick Brown was born in Wawoka, Oklahoma, to sharecroppers. He eventually became mayor of one of America's largest cities, Houston, Texas. He was elected the first African-American mayor of Houston in 1997, and he served the maximum 3 terms in office after elections in 1999 and 2001. As always, credit to my sources, BlackHistoryToday.com, BET.com, and blacknews.com as well. And that wraps up the Black History segment along with the We Do It Big segment. And you make sure you continue to listen to Our Voice 360 every week. I'm Fentress. Until next time.
You're listening to the Our Voice 360 podcast, our perspectives from our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go.
As you know, what's Keep It Moving all about? So this is your first time listening to Keep It Moving. Keep It Moving is all about inspiring, motivating, encouraging, and empowering people to live a life that's full of purpose, passion, and meaning. My guest this week, man, is somebody that has really, really touched me. Now, I met him at when I attended the Les Brown speaker seminar in Deerfield Beach. Earlier this year, I believe it was in January, February, something like that. I don't quite remember. But when I first saw the guy, I didn't have no clue who he was. I didn't know he was really part of the Les Brown Institute or anything else like that. When I first seen him, the first thing that popped in my head was X, DMX. That was the first thing that popped in my head. And I think even when I walked past him, I sat there and said, "What's up, X?" We just just went on right past him, but that was the first thing that popped in my head. Like, man, that dude remind me of DMX. I'm a hip hop junkie, so I could relate to the dude. But lo and behold, as time went on, and I decided to join the Antonio Smith Jr. Business Institute and get the coaching, to try, because as an entrepreneur, right, I wanted to maximize and achieve my success. And I was smart enough to know that I was dumb enough in a lot of areas to not achieve that on my own, right? So I sought what I was supposed to do. I sought help, I sought counsel, I sought wisdom, I sought guidance. And as a result of joining that institute, I got linked up with Brian Johnson, or Reverend Brian, depending on, the relationship with him. But I got linked up with him, and he was my business coach through the program with the Antonio Smith Jr. Institute. And instantly, me and him connected. We kind of hit and miss there at first, but then once we finally touched base with each other and really dedicated a few minutes to really talk to each other, man, we just connected instantly. I mean, it was just automatic. Like, okay, me and this guy, we're going to make things happen, and we did, and he really started to show me and give me confidence. Because one thing I always hated was sales. Right? I hate sales. I can't say that. I can't say I don't have the temperament to sell. I just didn't know how to use my abilities, the things that I was good at, and to incorporate sales within those things. So let me rephrase that. I can sell. I just didn't know how to incorporate my strengths within the selling concept of selling my business, selling my practice, and branding myself. So my guest this week really helped me with that and really taught me a lot. And he's my business coach, Brian A. Johnson. So I want to tell you real quickly a little bit about him. He was born and raised in Houston, Texas. Growing up, he found his pleasure in his surroundings, but felt to lack the knowledge to fulfill his inner being. Being raised in the church, going to public school, and living in impoverished areas, he seemed to be pretty fluent in adapting to his surroundings. Bryant finished school with a high school equivalent diploma by using his gifts and love for music and playing instruments. Afterwards, Bryant tried various jobs from fast food to telecommunications and everything in between, including hustling. With the entrepreneurial spirit, he never felt comfortable being an employee. And this is the part, I'm going to skip a part. I want to jump into this. In 2017, Bryant met and began to build with Antonio T. Smith Jr., with whom he got his certification as a certified transformational spiritual coach with ATSJR companies. Reverend Brian A. Johnson is a certified speaker, trainer, and coach with the Les Brown Institute. He also is the VP of Educational Enrollment in Brock Carruth University. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to my business coach, Brian A. Johnson. What's up, Brian?
What's going on, Ivan Hunt, the man with the master plan that holds it in his hand? What's going on, buddy? How you doing today?
I'm good, brother. Can't complain, man. Can't complain. Now, you and I have had a lot of, obviously we have a pre-existing rapport, but there's been a lot of things you've taught me. One of the things that you really taught me was about sales. So okay. I know you have an event coming up, if I believe, in Galveston, but we'll touch on that. But what are some of your key points when it comes to selling, and how do you convey that to your coaching clients?
Okay, there are quite a few key points, but for a person, because I was listening to your introduction, and I'll speak to the person that don't like sales or the person that disagree with selling, and I will say that any income that you want to obtain in any relationship that you want to have, anything that you want to have that's successful, you have to sell yourself. I don't want you to think of selling yourself in a derogatory form, because selling is not a derogatory statement. Selling just simply means that I'm putting out a service to fulfill an empty gap that's in your life to generate an income for myself. And a lot of times when I tell people, everything you do, you're selling yourself. Their mind instantly goes into the derogatory. You get, I'm not this, I'm not that. I never claimed for you to be anything. What I'm saying is, in order for you to encourage anybody, you have to encourage them by selling them. And how do you sell them? EI. It may be your story, it may be your life experiences, it may be what someone else has taught or told you, or it just may be something that you know for yourself. That's still selling. The example I love to use: you're a married person, I'm a married person. You and I would never be married right now if we didn't sell ourselves to our wives. We had to sell a product, which is ourselves, in order to make them be attracted to that product, which is ourselves, in order for us to do like Beyonce say and put a ring on
and, unfortunately, hey, buy as is.
it. No warranty.
There's no warranty. You can't turn me back.
That's it. That's it.
But but you're right. I think a lot of people who feel like they aren't natural salesmen, right? There is this negative connotation applied to sales, and that sales is this this taboo, horrible thing, right?
Right.
Where and why do you think people have that ideal, that image about sales?
I was hoping you didn't go there, and I was hoping you wouldn't ask that question because a certain industry is about to be very upset, but I'm going to put it up there. The reason you have a negative connotation of sales is because of car salesmen. Car salesmen only have the mentality of a commission, and they will try to do anything it takes to get you inside of a car, no matter if it fits you or not, no matter if it's working or not. They just want their commission. And that's a selfish mentality. And that's why we ended up with a negative connotation of what sales are, is because we always reflect sales to the car salesman. And understanding that the car salesman only want the commission, they feel like everybody else who is selling only want the commission. I don't sell for a commission. I sell for a service, and I provide a service to help you get what you're trying to get and help you achieve the goals that's in your life. I will not put you in an ES300 Benz if I don't feel like you're going to look good in it.
Right.
I'm going to sell you what fits you and what you need. You may have a big family. Why would I sell you an ES300 if you have a big family? I need to be selling you a minivan or SUV. I'm going to sell you what fit and suits your needs, not sell you anything just so I can get a commission.
How did you know you were good at sales? To the point, it's one thing to be good at something, right? But then there's something totally different to be good and to be able to teach it.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Here's how I know it. Here's when I realized that I was good at sales. I was doing telecommunication. It was like about 2004, maybe. Yeah, 2004. I was doing telecommunications, and I realized, and it was a joke that I was playing with my other cubicle mates, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna emulate everybody who I contact today. If they talk country, I'm gonna talk country. If they talk proper, I'm gonna talk proper. If they talk urban, I'm gonna speak urban. I'm gonna emulate every customer that I contact on today." And that was one of my biggest selling days, is because I emulated every customer. And then I realized that there's a thing in emulating that allows a person to drop their wall and allow you to be able to offer them the product in which they need. In sales, we call that mirroring your customer. The energy that your customer portrays is the energy you give back to your customer. And you have to release that wall, because you have to understand that initially we're going into a call. Your customer has a wall up, and your customer is rejecting the fact that this is a sales call. So I realized that I was good with sales by the power of emulating what my customers did back to me. And I had my greatest day ever. And that's when I coined and created the phrase, I can sell an Eskimo, an igloo in the summertime.
Right. And you make a good point, because I think even in coaching, right, a lot of times I think what makes, selling and coaching, to make a good coach, is to really understand and start, emulating even your own client. and matching their cadence in how they talk and so forth.
Absolutely.
So I think that's something that's really, really powerful. What's the number one sales advice, or what's the one question? Let me change that. What's the one question that you usually get from your clients about, about sales? So for example, I think even in our initial conversations, like, man, how do I sell this? How do I come up with a price? How do I come up with a marketing strategy? How do I come up, how do I connect with that client or that potential client?
Mm-hmm. Well, the number one question I generally get from a lot of my customers is exactly that. How do I sell? How do I be successful at doing something that I'm uncomfortable with doing? Mm-hmm. And my biggest, it's not even a challenge, but my biggest encouragement to anyone who's doing anything that they're not uncomfortable doing is actually just stepping out on faith and actually accomplishing it and getting it done.
But what does that mean? To step out on faith and actually go and accomplish it. That's a broad statement. Yeah.
And let me say it like this. What you do is you step out in the unknown. You step out in what's unknown to you to get what you're trying to desire. Because when you step out in the unknown of what's unknown to you, you'll definitely get what you desire, and you'll definitely be able to succeed, because nothing comes in comfort. Nothing comes in comfort, and you have to get uncomfortable in order to be successful, not only in life, but in any and everything you do, because you have to understand nothing comes by being comfortable. Your success, the success that you have right now on this show, you had to get uncomfortable to obtain it. And because you got uncomfortable, you are now experiencing success. So faith is merely stepping into the unknown. Faith is merely getting uncomfortable to achieve what you know you deserve.
I hear you. And that's, I'm so tempted, man, to jump off in that conversation about faith, because we've had some.
Take me there. Take me there. I'm gonna go.
Well, before we do, you have an event coming up. Am I correct? This weekend?
Well, we have a couple events coming up here at the ATS Business University. Actually, we have 3 conferences that's coming up here real soon. We will make sure that everybody that's online will get all the links and get all the information to these events. But the first event is going to be held, yes, it's coming up real soon. It's going to be held right here in Galveston, Texas. It's going to be in September. And those who cannot travel to Galveston, Texas, have the opportunity to live stream this event. What's going to happen at this event is that for only $10, you're going to leave with enough information for you to go make $10,000. And to all my church folk, we know that's not even tithe. So you're going to pay $10 and go make $100,000 with the information that we're going to give you. And we're going to give you way more than just $100,000 worth of information, because we know the power of underselling and over delivering.
Right. And I believe you guys, that I can honestly attest. I joined the Institute on purpose with the intention of a particular financial goal. Still seems far away, but it doesn't seem impossible. I will say that it doesn't seem impossible. And if you know me, I'm a huge Les Brown fan.
Yes, sir.
Even in my book opens up with "it's possible." You say to yourself every day, "It's possible." That's how Les Brown is the first thing you're going to see outside of the dedication of the book to my wife and my kids.
That's it.
That's his impact on us. I think on both of us, for that matter.
Yes.
I think that's a fair statement. But I did want to give you the opportunity to talk about that event coming up. This is your man, Ivan Hunt, host of Keep It Moving, coming live from Miami, Florida. Till next week, peace.
Well, folks, that's it for this week. I'm your host, Chad Baumgartner. I want to give a shout out to my OurVoice 360 team, Mike Brown, Pete Hunt, Fentress Fountain, and Ivan Hunt. As always, thanks for tuning in to OurVoice 360, our perspectives, our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. See you next week.